2017 is shaping up to be a big year. We have Trump in office, we have people marching, and Los Angeles is becoming the lost city of Atlantis.
With all the things that are happening so early in the year, we want to take a minute to go over and react to these big events, in particular, the Trump inauguration and the march to defend women's rights as well as other disenfranchised groups' rights.
Yeah. So the Trump inauguration, there's been a lot of drama involving the numbers, just the attendance or the viewership. We have Sean Spicer. One of the things he did was he went all out and tried to defend the attendance or the amount of people that watched or participated in the inauguration. A lot of the things he said was riddled with falsehoods.
Exactly. I mean, to me, it's more about the fact that he's already president. So we have President Trump. He's no longer a candidate.
Yeah.
He's no longer running. He's already president. Why even bother to defend the numbers? But just to clarify, we did do a little bit of research.
Yeah.
And looked into the actual numbers, what was reported versus...
What are the numbers for the other presidents? Yeah.
The most views on television go to Ronald Reagan back in 81, right?
Yeah, wow.
So he actually, his inauguration was viewed by 41 million people, according to Nielsen.
I didn't know that was that many TVs. I really didn't know that in 81 we had 41 million TVs.
Yeah. So if we kind of adjust the numbers to today's population, he probably would have blown Trump out of the water in that sense.
Yeah.
But we also have Barack Obama, whose inauguration was viewed by 37 million people on television.
His first inauguration.
Yeah. And then we compare that to Trump's first inauguration because we don't know if he will be elected.
Yeah. Depending on how it goes, you know?
Yeah. 30.1 million, according to Nielsen, is how many people watched him on TV.
The one thing that I really want to do with these numbers is actually compare them to things people watch. Like, I want to know how many people watched this compared to, like, The Walking Dead, like, season premiere or something.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that The Walking Dead is pretty high up there. On average, one episode of The Walking Dead is probably like 15 to 20 million viewers.
Wow. Okay, well, I also kind of agree. I think it's kind of weird that there's this weird emphasis on that. The numbers of people who watched it doesn't really matter. If you're someone like me, then you actually would prefer to kind of just look at the highlights at the end or something and just kind of get the cliff notes and see what happened. And a lot of interesting things did happen, but an inauguration, I feel, is pretty consistently the same. You got the guy say stuff, people clap, and then everyone leaves. Like,
yeah, he gets sworn in, and then everybody goes about their lives, right? 160,000 people joined him live in person.
Yeah, woof.
That was also another topic of debate for Mr. Press Secretary Sean Spicer. So 160,000.
Amazing name, by the way, Sean Spicer.
And they keep comparing it to Obama. But why keep comparing it to Obama when you already have the presidency? That is something that to me is very unpresidential. Like we said in our last video, it's about respect, right?
Yeah, it's just that thing. I am really curious to see what he does as president. Some of the things that he's already trying to do, like he's trying to change Obamacare a bit. Fingers crossed. I really want to see his actual actions. I don't like that he's getting focused on this like unpresidential related things.
Exactly.
What the media is choosing to cover is kind of just random. They do what they do. I don't remember any other president kind of doing that and like going on a Twitter rant.
Yeah.
That's like for Kanye.
and complaining about people not voting for him, complaining about people protesting when he specifically sponsored protests against Barack Obama.
Yeah.
Right? Every president is going to have protesters, right? There's people that are going to be against the policies or the ideas of any president-elect, any president candidate. Mm-hmm. And protests are inevitable. That's our right as Americans to protest.
One of the interesting things that he did do, though, which I admire, even though it's a little late in the game, is that he actually recanted a little bit. He took a step back and said that, protesting is our right as American citizens, and he kind of made it a little more neutral. And I think that's a much better note to end it on. He didn't really talk about the march at all after that, which is good. But we have those two conflicting things. The like pre-President Trump, who has an opinion about everything. Then we have this last tweet, which I thought was hopefully a sign of like the Trump to come, which is a more neutral or less antagonizing Trump.
Exactly.
And I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. So let's agree to giving him the benefit of the doubt. But if you don't give him the benefit of the doubt, or if you don't agree still with some of the things that he said in the past, some of the things that you think he will do in the near future, you were probably out marching to protest him as a person, maybe as a
misogynist is the best word to describe it. And you know, I was personally kind of confused about the march initially. I had to like reach out to people who I knew that were going to participate in it. I had to look it up online. I had to go to Reddit. And once I started to see that it was a really positive experience, it wasn't one of those things that, you know, it starts off as a protest, it ends up with people looting. Exactly. It was just all about positivity and talking about how people across the board should have equal rights.
Equality. That was the main message of this protest, right? And so many people came out to support women's rights, to support LGBTQ rights, to support immigrants, to support minorities in general. Some of the numbers are estimated at 2.5 million around the globe.
That's pretty impressive.
It's super impressive. Compare that to only 160,000 people at the inauguration. Yeah. And, you know, Trump is probably a little bit embarrassed.
Yeah, and I could see why his initial comment would then, like, launch. But then when you read a lot of the signs, like that was one of the things I did was, you know, you go through all the tags and you read all the signs. A lot of them are humorous. For the most part, they were really, really positive. And some of them were snarky, but none of them were really hate-filled. And I really appreciated that. It made me appreciate the effort. And if I recall, it wasn't even meant to be this large of a thing. It was just supposed to be a couple people a couple 100,000 go to Washington and they stand there, turn into this thing where all these major cities are getting together.
Major cities like London, New York, Boston, Los Angeles,
Denver,
especially Washington, D.C., where 470,000 people, according to the New York Times, showed up to protest.
It's cool because one of the things that I saw a lot, especially right after the election happened, was so much hate from both sides, really. And and it was something that I just was not with. I did not like that. Seeing this where you can actually voice your opinion and it's really, really positive, I really appreciate that. And seeing it go, like you said, London was one of them, like all over the world. It wasn't just in America. People all over the world kind of brought this like empowering thing, you know, like we are the world type vibe. And I'm just, I like it.
Yeah, it's surprising in a good way. And I was also surprised to see a lot of famous people there. Scarlett Johansson, Jane Fonda, Miley Cyrus, Madonna, you know, even Cher.
She's everywhere though. I bet you she was at each city.
She cloned herself to be at every city. But even famous people.
James Franco, Steve Buscemi, well, I mean, he's not that famous. But he's a firefighter in his spare time. I don't know if you knew that.
To see all the support from all these different groups of every walk of life, basically, is amazing to me. I even saw Native Americans, which, you know, they're one of the people that I like have the most sympathy, empathy for. Like, just, you know, talk about oppressed people. And then to see even them, like, they're not doing anything in a hateful way. It's such a positive or underlying message of we're all equal. And I love that. Like, I eat that for breakfast, you know? And we have so many different waves of feminism coming and going, you know, ever since the early 17th century. Some people argue that there's a fourth wave of feminism that kind of started in 2008. It's still up for debate. It hasn't been official, but I would say that this kind of classifies or could classify as like the beginning of fourth wave feminism.
Yeah, which is good because if you're not someone who's actually a feminist, you'll see that there's people who just kind of spew out this thing where it's not really about equality. It's more about one gender being better than the other. And I've seen that a lot. That's what made, like, whenever I hear the word feminism, I'm almost scared at first. But then this really, like, put it in a whole new perspective. It actually made me think of what I actually originally thought feminism was.
Yeah.
So
And the interpretation of the term feminism changes with every little wave. You know, it started off as just being about women's rights. With this protest, it really established that feminism isn't just about women's rights. It's about disenfranchised groups' rights. Basically, anybody who is not rich, you know, anybody who's at any disadvantage in any way, shape, or form is included in this feminist wave, whether it's still the third wave or the fourth wave. And that's amazing, I think.
yeah. And talk about signs. If I can remember off the top of my head, we have like Star Wars references. We have like famous other movies I can think of right now.
Mean Girls.
Yeah, lots of Mean Girls.
Mean Girls. Harry Potter.
Yeah.
One of my favorite signs. The one that said, without Hermione, Harry would have died in book 1.
Very, very true. It was really fun. Like something like that. It gives us a thing to talk about. It gives us more information about these different kinds of disenfranchised people, to see the various walks of life. Then you get and you read their signs and you see what they're specifically fighting for. Everyone was different in general, but the message across the board was equality.
So if you support any of these causes, if you're part of any of these disenfranchised groups, don't forget to stand up for your rights and to stand up for other people's rights. We don't want to sway you one way or another, or maybe we do. But whatever it is that you fight for, whatever it is that you support, we urge you to support it. We urge you to stand up for it.
And stay dry if you're in Southern California, because today was the day that the world ended. Just saying. And make sure to drive safe. So many places were closed off. So many places got flooded, so I couldn't even drive in a lot of places.
Yeah, the 710. If anybody ever drives on the 710, you know that thing became a river.
It's really interesting. I always find it interesting how Los Angeles, or Angelinos, whatever we call ourselves, we don't really know how to react to the rain, but when it gets like ridiculous like it was today, then like the actual city itself doesn't know how to react.
It's been real. So that was our recap / reaction to the Trump inauguration and the Women's March that happened on January 20th and January 21st, 2017.
Thanks for watching, and be sure to subscribe to The Rant on Twitter at TheRant20. And follow us on Facebook at Rant Entertainment, and subscribe. Smash that like button too. Tell us if you survived the great storm of 2017.
See you guys next time.